Peace, E. Peace, David Lee. Can y'all hear me? Mic check, mic check. One, two, three. If you can hear me, give me a one, please. See if I can get this thing. Doing me some cardio at the house this morning. And I figured I'd do a little chat while I'm doing my cardio. And so the title is the complete title, if you die before you die, then when you die, you will not die. If you die before you die, when you die, you will not die. I got that from I think the title of the book is called Mystical uh, Islam, and it's an excellent book produced by okay, hopefully I got my signal back. So yeah, that's where I got that saying from. Now, it can be interpreted and should be interpreted on multiple levels, but its most simple expression to me is that if while quote unquote living, you are going through the path of continued evolution, continued transformation on all levels, then you are going through a series of deaths, because there cannot be transformation without an ending of something and a beginning of something else. And again, that applies on all levels. Sometimes our body naturally understands what that Sufi saying means. Peace, wise, feminine. Because our bodies, our cells, completely regenerate every 7 years. So, for our cells to regenerate, there has to be this internal intelligence that knows when something has run its course and that it's time for it to end and for something new to begin. And that number 7 is not by happenstance. 7 is completion, we know. But 6 is when the actual work has been done. And 7 as completion is rest. But the work is really completed in 6. So 7 can serve as a transition of sorts. But that's another conversation. So if our body with its intelligence knows that something must die so that there can be life, then obviously this is encoded into all levels of existence. Let's see. On the end of March, beginning of April, I went back home. I've talked about my grandmother before. I went back home because she made her transition, 91 years old. Um, and went back to celebrate her life. And my mother, leading up to the transition, was telling me about how she had been telling me for months or over a year that, grandmama wasn't wasn't eating, or her eating was decreasing. And as it got toward the end, she started telling me about her stool. She was her her incontinence increased. Okay, peace flex. And if you think about it, it lines right up with the fact that the North Node is in Taurus right now, and the South Node is in Scorpio. And Scorpio deals with elimination. Taurus deals with partly consumption, as in I have, thus I consume. She made her transition right before the start of Ramadan. And Ramadan started on April 3rd, the day after the new moon in Aries. And Ramadan involves fasting. Fasting means you are limiting your intake, and thus you are increasing your elimination, meaning symbolically you are cleaning out. Now, the practicing Muslim says that during Ramadan, the Dajjal cannot attach because you starve it. Now, on a metaphysical level, that is very, very true because it's the elimination is part of transformation. The Dajjal, we can correlate with being old habits, old realities, old circumstances, old baggage, old understanding or misunderstanding. that attaches to us and stays with us. And so we see the necessity of Scorpio to eliminate. Therefore, Scorpio is often associated with death. But I want to explain before I continue about its role in death. Because Scorpio is a water sign, there are three water signs: Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. Scorpio is death, but it is death for the purpose of living. So Scorpio is the epitome of the saying, if you die before you die, then when you die, you will not die, because it's transformation. Pisces is more of a finite, or not finite, or has more finality about it, because Pisces is the ego, or the seed is now completely dissolved. Cancer, on the other hand, is where the seed has gestated to a proper degree to where it can now shine. Cancer followed by Leo, shine, or the child is. So I want just to juxtapose those three signs just for the sake of a reference. So back to Eid, to Ramadan. Ramadan, let's associate it with the word die, D-I-E. My grandmother transitions right before the start of Ramadan. If my family would have been thinking, they should have seen the correlation, and it should give them great pause to sit and think about what it ultimately means for us as a bloodline, which that's another conversation. But the end of Ramadan is on the new moon in Taurus. And at the end of Ramadan, you have it is called Eid. Now in English, and I know it can be different spellings, but I know one spelling for sure of Eid is E-I-D, which is a direct anagram of the word die, D-I-E. Eid means festival. It means feast. So at the end of this journey of cleaning out, fasting, dying, there is something that represents what we typically would associate with life, the intake. My grandmother stopped eating. She started eliminating. We were supposed to be seeing the mystical nature of her, the timing of her transition. I have gone ahead to prepare a place for you. We were supposed to have our minds locked on eliminating so that we could eat. If you die before you die, then when you die, you will not die. As Scorpio relates to die, and we can say that Taurus, which is Definitely about a feast. Taurus is associated with taste. Or you could say Taurus is Eid, which it perfectly lines up this year symbolically. We also find the word mut, which in Kemet is ma'at, Hebrew mut. Mut means death. And then the opposite, tum, tm, means perfection. It also means taste. Taste. Again, we see in the language an astrological imprint with with great symbolic significance. We see elimination again juxtaposed with eating. I want to read what I read at my grandmother's ceremony because as a child, she taught me my first scripture, which was Psalm 23. Uh, Now, this particular Helios Biblios or Holy Bible or whole book, keep that in mind. Whole book, holy Helios. Sun is round, circle. Circle is whole. Whole book. This particular whole book starts this passage out with the word Jehovah. Jehovah is my shepherd. Now, I got to give pause just 1 second. That in itself is indicative of what the real expression of the book is. Whole, Old Testament, New Testament. So there can be wholeness. There is Jehovah starts with Yeh or Yod, which is masculine, and He, which is feminine, because Jehovah is Yod He Vahe, same thing. Yod, masculine, He, feminine, Va, the offspring of the masculine and the feminine. He, a feminine, is exhaled from the perfection. Yod, He, Va, He. So even in the start of this passage, there's a petition for wholeness. Jehovah or Yod He Vahe is my shepherd. I shall not want. Wanting is Taurus, desire. Okay. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. Pastures is where you will find manure and where you will find food. That is the nodal axis of Scorpio and Taurus. He leadeth me beside still waters. Scorpio rules over stagnant water, i.e., when you defecate, your stool sits in the toilet, it's stagnant. Okay? When you urinate, stagnant water. They tell you don't leave stagnant water in the summer. It attracts mosquitoes. Scorpio rules over swamps, stagnant water. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, Scorpio, I will fear no evil. Evil Anagram, live. The word Scorpio etymologically means live. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff. Once again, polarities. The rod goes forth, the staff pulls back, masculine, feminine. They comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and loving kindness, Taurus. When in Spanish, when you say me gusto means I like or it is good. But the root gustare, the Latin, also means taste. Taste is Taurus. Surely goodness and loving kindness shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of Yod He Vah He forever. She didn't know, and I definitely didn't know that when she taught me this, that this realization would come out of it. But again, we see this scripture giving us the foundation of if you die before you die, then when you die, you will not die. Something else to consider the story of Adam and Eve. We get caught up about it being sexist and this and that. Story has nothing to do with that. Adam means man, as in a race. So in the zodiac, there's only one symbol that coincides with human. That's Virgo. The rest are instruments, tools, or animals. But Virgo is a human. That's Adam. Out of Adam's side comes Libra. It's Venus. Love. That's Eve. But the saga that they go to in the Bible, they wanted to know themselves. So they ate the apple. And the apple is one of the fruits that produce ethylene gas. And even if there's a discrepancy about there being an apple, there's, arguments, so it was a quince. Well, guess what? A quince also produces ethylene gas. So that means even after it's plucked, it continues to ripen. It's a major key. Those two fruits, even after they're plucked, they continue to ripen, and they will help other fruits ripen or transform or become. So the next step, if Adam is Virgo, Eve is Libra, the next step is for the death of them both, the death to each other, so that there can be transformation. Scorpio, eighth house. Genesis opens up into the sign of Scorpio because that's, what do they call it? It's the fall of man. Crossing over the equinox or the horizon and falling, the sun falls in Scorpio. In Scorpio season, we know for sure that summer is over. Libra may still leave a little hope. Virgo season, Libra, especially if you down here in the South. But Scorpio tends to make it really known summer has died, the fall. And so I've mentioned this before. Amor frigit sin sedere et Baco. Love grows cold without bread and wine. And so that's the transformation. Sixth house, seventh house, eighth house. If you die before you die, then when you die, you will not die. Let's see, how long have I been on here? 26 minutes. I get 4 more minutes, make it 30. But I just wanted to touch on that. I think it's fitting. And I also, we're reminded that Taurus is also security. All the fixed signs, period, are security. And so security is coming under greater and greater threat. And you can see it all over the internet. And one of the greatest things is the fear of loss. You know, the fear of losing something. Because following the fixed signs are the mutable signs, which means the season is now being lost. It's transitioning. So part of the challenge with the North Node in Taurus is for all of us to continue to remember and be mindful, first of all, that I have. And then to assess what you have in that order. First of all, I have, period, point blank, I have. I have something. Now, as I go deeper into what I have, I further fortify that mindset. At the same time, being mindful of what do I have that I don't need? What do I have that I don't want? Versus the other way is, what don't I have that I want? That can become a little crippling. So first, understanding that I have. Two, assessing what I have. Three, understanding what I have that I don't need. Four, what do I have that I don't want? Okay, good. So that's all I got. Appreciate y'all joining in, tuning in, helping the old man get through these 30 minutes. I sure made the time go by fast. 8 seconds. seconds left. So I'm going to sign off. I appreciate y'all. You're most welcome, Wise Feminine. Thank you. Just a reminder, I'm available for a host of services to edify. Oh, okay, right on. She said, enjoying those email updates. Thank you for the time to read. If you want to join my email list, you can go to 720astrology.com and go to blogs. And you can sign up to join my newsletter list. And while you're there, if you're interested in a private reading, multiple readings available. If you'd like to get my document, Manifestation Made Simple, you can get it there as well under products. Peace, Demeter, life coaching, host of things over there. I invite you to visit. But once again, thank y'all for tuning in. As always, stay down till you get up. When you get up, stay down. Peace.